Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, traders. Steve here at Logic FX Trading, and welcome to our trading room recording on Monday, the 16th of August, 2021. This is going to be a weekly review, guys. We're going to change things up here by doing a weekly review of currency charts, etc. And then during the week, we'll look at individual stocks. So let's just get going here. Today, economic calendar, GDP growth annualized in Japan. There's been a big move long in the yen today, guys, and with the Swiss franc, and a lot of red on the board as far as the stock markets are concerned. So that's probably a little move into safety there. We'll have a look at the charts in a moment. We are looking for a correction. Whether it starts today or not, we don't know, guys. That's the difficulty of these things, is trying to time them. Most people who have been trading a long time kind of just say that it's pointless trying to time them. But I still like to maybe take something off the board each time it looks like it's going to drop, and then get back in again as it starts to come up. Next 7 days. Employment change, that's tomorrow. Employment change in the UK, GDP growth in the Eurozone, retail sales in the United States, interest rate decision in New Zealand, with the press conference, core inflation rate in the UK, core inflation rate in Canada and in the Eurozone, and FOMC minutes from the United States. And then the 19th, which will be 3 days' time, that'll be Thursday, won't it? Wednesday, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. No, Thursday. Employment change, unemployment rate in Australia, and then Japan inflation rate, and then manufacturing PMI flash the United States. But that's next Monday, guys. That's what I was getting. That's Friday there, folks. Okay, so there's a lot on this week. Crucially, nothing major in the US except for the FOMC minutes. So we'll see how we go. Nothing really much there to get our teeth into. But if anything comes up during the week, obviously we'll include it in the recording that we do for that day. But I'm trying to get away from this, doing an hour every single morning, guys, because it's too much for people to watch. Okay, over to the charts. There's the move up in the yen. Nice strong move back up there. I was looking for this to drop. Listen, it can still drop, guys. We need to find out why there's red on the screen. Quite possibly there's low volumes at the minute. It's the middle of the summer. Then there's a whole Taliban thing over in Afghanistan, which is kind of looking pretty nasty for anyone who's getting caught up in that. And also pretty nasty for the US president, because it was him that made the final decision to move without securing some sort of peace deal with the Taliban beforehand. But there you go. So we'll see if this happens. I would expect this to happen unless we go into a major drawdown on the stock markets. Then you'll see this pushing on up. But I don't really see it on the board at the moment, guys. So we could well see a reversal of that. Just over to the Nasdaq. Looks to me like we're getting an ending diagonal here, guys. It's come up quite impulsively. You got a drawdown, another push up. It's hanging around here. Wouldn't be surprised if we got that, which is what we were talking about last week anyway. Wouldn't be surprised if we got one more up and then we'll get a nice correction out of there. Well, I say nice on the chart, not necessarily nice for us, because we'll get a drawdown with that. And there's the divergence there, guys. So this looks like it's going to set up to drop. Does it have to rise up to there? No, it could just maybe break that top. Sometimes it'll even break the top, guys. But most of the time they'll break the top and then they'll go. And I suspect we're going to see something like that. Dow Jones broke out of that little flat correction last week. This isn't open at the moment, guys. But I do know that across Europe, everything's in the red. China, Everything was in the red. Hong Kong in the red. So pretty sure the US, the VIX at the moment's up 8%, 9%, floating between 8 and 9. So we're going to see a drawdown today, guys. So, you'll see a correction. Now, whether it's the start of a deeper one or not, obviously we don't know, but we need to be careful. Just in case that's what it is, it might take some money off the table. And when I'm taking money off the table, by the way, guys, it's usually something that's, it's in and around zero, but maybe of $500 or, whatever on a particular trade. And it's maybe up a couple of dollars or it's down a couple of dollars. Just take it off the table. It's not going to affect your overall circumstances, as far as the account's concerned over the year, losing a few dollars here or there, but you do save yourself $500 or a portion thereof if that particular stock were to take a dive. Next thing you know, you're down $50, $60, $70 on it, and you're going, I could have got out of that. And I like to do that. I like to get out of things. And quite often I go back and I look, months later after I've got out of something or I've sold up, and we would have been in a lot of trouble had I not taken off the table. 10 cent, for example. Last week, or maybe the week before, I bought into 10 cent. It went up, not enough for me to think about closing it, and it started coming short again. And I just put the stop loss at zero, and I said, I'm not going into the red with this. Stopped me out at zero, forgot about it, and today it's down 4 or 5%, guys. So it would have been another drawdown. Just all adds up. So, it's a little tactic that I like to use. There's a drawdown in the UK index. Remember, we're on 4 hours here, guys, and it's near the start of the day. You could well see some more drawdown there. French, little turn there. German, a little turn there, guys. Now, we don't know if this is necessarily the start of something bigger, but let's just keep an eye on it. Surprisingly, even though Bloomberg's reporting that the Chinese stocks were down, looking in there, obviously, let's see, what's the 10th? We're on the 16th. Hold on, let's take this to 1 hour. 11th, 12th, 13th, 16th. Well, not down much, guys. It's nothing much to write home about there. And then Hong Kong, obviously, has had that little drawdown there. Drawdown on the Australian, nice big drawdown there on the Russell. DXY, hopefully this is the start of the rundown on the dollar, which it was after in here. Do you remember, guys? These things, they take time. You need to have patience. Maybe try and trade them with a low leverage, guys. I tend to trade these with 10, and I get them wrong a lot. I'll be honest with you, I do. And maybe it'd be better going down maybe 5 times leverage and giving it more space and more time, because often I get these right, but the timing's the hard thing. So I'm pretty sure this is going to drop, and I do think the dollar is way overvalued, to be honest. Maybe it gets down into there. So I'm in this again for my sins. Stop losses at zero. I'm actually not in DXY. I'm in this. Stop losses at zero. Get into it as it broke there, guys. It's pulling back a little bit in the moment. Hope it doesn't hit the stop loss. If we get a nice push up, then we're into potentially a nice trade. And the pound as well, certainly looking like it could break long. The Aussie, not so sure about, guys. The New Zealand, if it's going to move, it's going to move in this. I don't particularly want to trade that. The CAD will depend on what happens to the oil price. Excuse me. If the dollar goes short and the oil price goes long, which it should, then you could well see that trade coming in. As I often say, this particular chart often leads the way. It's like a canary in the coal mine so far as the dollar's concerned. So we've had that same little move down. The only thing I would say at the moment, we're on 1 hour, so it's not so bad. That's quite a nice move back up there. So you see it's exaggerated. That's that little turn down there. Let's go back and look. Yeah, I do think a dollar's going to drop from here, though, guys. The yen, there's the yen. No, I didn't predict that, guys. I've kind of been saying about this one, because I was looking for the dollar to drop. I was also looking for the yen to drop. I basically just said leave this one alone, guys. But there you have a nice move down on the yen. We've had them before, so I don't know that we're necessarily into something there. And the Swiss as well, guys. Now, this is a little bit different because I'm looking for this to strengthen up, because I'm looking for gold to strengthen up. So potentially this one could carry on down. Nice start of a recovery in gold. Obviously, it's not going to go up in a straight line, guys. So we will have pullbacks and moves, but hopefully we get a little bit of momentum into the gold, mainly because I've got about 10% of the account on gold mines. And what else have we got there as far as gold? That's just gold mines of gold. I got rid of the physical gold last week just before it made that crash. So I was lucky there, guys, that I got out of that. But it is starting to recover. And silver will be doing something similar. Not as pronounced. What we did say when we got that flash crash was that this could well close down before going long. Now, that might be it there, and this is the start of it going long with a bit of a correction in today, guys. But I suspect there's more upside to silver. Bitcoin, Bitcoin frustrates me because I'm not a great believer in it. But every time it's gone long, I kind of go, well, the next time it comes short, I'm going to get into it and hold on to it. And I do get into it, and then I chicken out. So I actually got in here, guys. And I don't know where I got out, but I chickened out somewhere along this road here. And if I held on to it and maybe even added to the position, that's up 50% in a few weeks. I mean, where do you get that? 30,000 to 47,000. Well, 30 to 45 is 50%. So, I'm a little bit annoyed with myself there. Although it would have only been a small trade, guys. It would have been a few percent. But let's say even 1%, well, a 50% move on 1% would have been 0.5%, which would have been nice. Because remember, we're only after 2% a month. So that one trade would have given us a quarter of what we're after. And Ethereum, same thing, guys. I got into this in Coinbase, not on here, not on eToro, on Coinbase. And then I just got out of them last week. I just didn't like Coinbase. I didn't like having the separate account. I didn't want to put any more money into it. And I thought, I've only got $1,000 in there. Do I really want to leave that? And I closed it and put the money into eToro. So there you go. That looks like a little bit of an ending diagonal going on in there. There's your divergence, guys. Wouldn't be surprised if you got a bit of what we were looking for the other day. And I do think it will continue to go up. Now, one of the things that's going to be interesting here is if we do get a drawdown in the markets or the start of some sort of correction, or if this thing with the Taliban in Afghanistan starts to blow out of all proportion, then let's see what happens to the cryptos. Does money start pouring into them? Could well do. Oil still bouncing along, guys. It's in a bit of a drawdown at the minute, but I don't see any big reason for it to fall much further. EuroCAD, well, I don't want to deal with that. Bit of upside to euro, probably because of the downside to downside to DXY. over the last few days, guys. So maybe that's what's pushing that up. But I don't want to trade that, guys. It's just too complex. Euro Oz, well, we were looking for a breakout and a move up, although I did say I'd prefer to come down into there. Euro New Zealand, not as big a move. Obviously, New Zealand's a little bit stronger, which means the Aussie New Zealand will be going short. Euro Yen, there's that push in the yen. Was looking for that to break out. Now, that's quite a move there. Euro Swiss, guys. I did say I thought it would probably start running flat here. We'll have to see. Yet again, it just depends on what's going to happen. If there's a rush to safety, all the Swiss pairs will move short in that case. Pound CAD, a little bit of a move up in the pound. I think there's more upside to the pound, guys, but I'm not convinced at the minute of which one to trade. Pound New Zealand, maybe. Pound Oz. Yeah, there's been a nice move there. Maybe it breaks out. I was looking for that. And the reason I was looking for that was because we've been running in this channel. So you're always looking for a better price, guys. As it's turned out, it's moved there. The difficulty is, I guarantee if you buy that, no, don't guarantee it, but you understand what I mean. If you buy in there, chances are this thing ends up doing that. And then at some point in a month's time, it'll do that. Can it break out from there? Well, it can. But if you do that over and over again, as a tactic or as a strategy, you're going to get it wrong 4 times more often than you get it right. So don't be doing it, guys. Have patience. If it drops, buy in down here somewhere. Pound New Zealand, same thing. Pound Swiss, there's a nice pullback. Now, we were looking for a pullback after that impulse, guys. So we've got it. But are we now brave enough to go against what's happening at the moment and trade that long? I wouldn't do it today because this is still happening. Let it settle down, and if we find out exactly why it's happening and ensure that it's not going to continue to happen, in other words, the reason why there's been this sudden movement into the Swiss franc and the yen, we've got to know what's causing that. And once we know what's causing it, then we can decide, well, is it going to continue to happen? And if so, then we're not going to trade against it. But we don't know that at the moment, so don't be jumping in long in that, guys, even though that's what I was looking for. Pound Euro, same thing, guys. We were looking for some sort of drawdown. Obviously, when I draw it like this, it's because you're looking for a really beautiful little zigzag, gives you a little flag, and then, you trade out of it. So that's kind of what we're showing there. And often they don't look like that. If we remove those, the more it looks like that, the higher the probability is that it's getting ready to break out. When it looks like this, it's not as, you don't feel as assured by it because you're kind of looking at that and you're going, well, could that end up dropping even more? I mean, look at how it's been moving, guys. Now, you could use a strategy for that. But it'd be painful. I tend not to trade the euro dollar, guys, or the euro pound. Pound yen, well, there you are, the nice big pull down. That's what we said. We said the other day, listen, it could break out from here, but really what you're looking for is it to pull back. And then we say, well, if it pulls back down into there, you could go, but the ace in the hole would be that it drops right down to there, and then that's your best bet. Now, I probably would have said this on Friday. If you bought there and it drops and you believe that it's going to go long, then buy again there. And if it drops, buy again there. And then when it comes up, you've got a nice trade. But it takes a lot of patience and a lot of guts, particularly if it hangs around down there for a while and you've ended up sitting in a drawdown for a month or two. It's annoying, guys. But it's part of trading. You got to get used to it. Aussie Yen. Long time since I moved this. We were looking for this to break out, but look at it. This is why you trade from the bottom, guys. You don't trade from there because you often get that happening before it goes. Is this definitely going to go? Well, we don't know at the minute, guys. Same thing applies. Let's find out why the yen's strengthening and then make a decision on it. As I said, Aussie New Zealand will have gone short. You could tell that from the difference between, what was it we were looking at? Wasn't the dollar? Was it euro? Yeah. There was that big push up there between the euro Aussie, and then there's the move with euro New Zealand, and it didn't have that extra spike. So from that, we were able to tell that Aussie New Zealand will have moved short. Looking for a reason to get long in it, but I'll not be trading it now, guys. Aussie Swiss. I've only one currency trade on at the minute, guys. I used to do 100% currency trades, but recently I've got more in the stocks, which is the reason why I'm trying to change the what we do here on a daily basis to actually reflect what I'm trading rather than what I used to trade. Aussie CAD. Yeah, maybe it's going to break out long. Don't know. Swiss Yen. This will be interesting. It's come back down into this flat correction. Now, what we said about this was that it could certainly take off out of that. So if you wanted to trade it long, you had to at least wait for it to get to the bottom of the flat. Let's clean it up a little bit for us. So when we were up here, I said, no, guys, don't be trying to trade that long. Wait and see if it's going to drop back down into there. Then maybe you could trade that. And at that point, you've got to decide, is it going to come off again? So you either take your profit there or put your stop loss to zero and hope that it doesn't stop you out. And then, of course, if you get long in there and it continues to drop, well, then potentially it'll come long from there again because it's the completion of a zigzag, guys. And then off it goes again. CAD Swiss. Well, the reason we put this in like this is because we were looking for some sort of setup. That's come down like a stone. Same rules apply, guys. Wait to see, is this going to continue to go, or does it stall out here and then over the next rest of the week starts to come up? Then maybe you can get involved there and off you go. But we don't know, so don't be trying to trade it right now. CAD Yen, same thing. Look, move into safety. Is it creating something there that's going to break out of, or is it about to pull back up? Let's wait and see. Wait and see what's going on. New Zealand Yen. Now, I guarantee you, did we do Aussie Yen? When did we do Aussie Yen? Look at the difference in these two, guys. We'll go back to the Aussie. Look at that move. That's weakness in the Aussie compared to the New Zealand. And then there's the New Zealand, guys. I know it was exaggerated there, but nowhere near as big a move. We could actually put this in here. Hopefully this will show up. It doesn't look that exaggerated there, does it? I love it when I do something like this and then it makes me look like a muppet. There is a difference, guys. It just isn't obvious in that chart. New Zealand CAD. Looks like it's setting up to go long. But you'd have to trade against the CAD. What happened to the Aussie CAD? Let's have a look at that. It also looks like it's setting up to go long. New Zealand Swiss, there's a pull back down, and yet again, we go back to Aussie Swiss. The difference, guys. Okay, yet again, you got to wait and see what's going on with the Swiss. Why is it continuing to go up? Are the markets, that VIX now down 9.39%, sorry, up 9.39%, which is obviously the opposite of what we'll be seeing in the markets. When the VIX goes green, the markets are red, folks. And there's the VIX there. See that jump up, guys? That'll indicate physical. This is physical gold. Nice move up. I nearly bought it the other day when it did this, but because we've already got 10% of the account in gold-related stocks, I just thought, no, don't be putting any more in the gold. But that would have been a nice recovery. So, listen, today I'm expecting a drawdown on the account, which is horrible because it's just been fighting drawdowns for the last 6 weeks, guys, and this is the start of the 7th week off it. It's not the end of the world. We're down 1.27% last month and 1.47% at the moment, after a good run of greens for most of the year. But the gold stocks should move in the opposite direction for us. I say should, which will offset quite a lot of the drawdown, I hope. Okay, guys, I'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Not necessarily in this format, but I will. Okay, bye for now.